Montana's House lawmakers have voted to ban the state's first transgender legislator from speaking on the floor for the remainder of the session.
The vote comes just 1 week after state Congresswoman Zooey Zephyr accused GOP legislators of having, quote, blood on their hands for supporting bills that would prohibit gender-affirming care for minors. Zephyr was then blocked from speaking on the bill for 2 days. She was given 5 minutes to speak before the House voted on her censure. Here is just some of what she had to say.
I have had friends who have taken their lives because of these bills. I have fielded calls from families in Montana, including one family whose trans teenager attempted to take her life while watching a hearing on one of the anti-trans bills. So when I rose up and said, there is blood on your hands, I was not being hyperbolic.
Powerful words there. She will be able to vote and attend sessions only remotely for the rest of the legislative session, which ends on May 5th.
We have Representative Zooey Zephyr joining us now for more on this. Zooey, good morning, and thank you for being here. How did we get here, and what was going through your mind when that vote came down?
So we got here because what we saw was someone from a marginalized community, in this case, the trans community, standing up and calling out bills for the real harm they bring. And when the speaker demanded that I apologize for explaining those harms, what I told him was, I can't do that because to apologize here would be to be complicit in the harm that this legislation brings.
We know you said you wouldn't apologize. Do you stand by your comments even after being banned? And have you heard from any of your colleagues following this vote?
Yes, I do. When you make the moral choice to stand up for your community, when you then continue to stand up for democracy as your constituents show up and demand that their representative be heard, it's hard to feel anything other than joy and pride in doing the right thing. And my colleagues have been generally supportive and are asking me, what can they do to help me as we go forward?
So let's talk about that. I mean, you're banned from the floor. You can still vote on bills remotely, but do you worry about the effect this will have on your constituents and their representatives? I mean, they sent you there, and do you have a message to your district?
That's important to note. And every bill that this body brings up over the next week and a half that we have left in the session, housing bills, the state budget, every bill, there will be the voice of 11,000 Montanans missing from those important discussions. And what my message to my constituents would be is I stood up in defense of you and our ideals in our community, and I will always continue to do so.
Representative Zephyr, we have sort of seen some similar actions in other states. For example, in Nashville, we saw those lawmakers who were ousted for, they were accused of, they were facing similar accusations that you are of inciting an insurrection. Do you worry this will have a chilling effect on dissent in state legislatures?
So my concern is the communities that are rising up, whether it is me as a young trans woman, whether it is the representatives out in Tennessee, young Black men saying these policies get our community killed. What we're seeing is that there's a rising wave of state legislators and citizens who aren't willing to just sit down and let these really harmful bills pass. And the people in power are trying to use rules, fuzzy rules, applied unevenly, like decorum, to try to silence the communities that rise up.
In wake of what's happened, what are you hearing from your constituents now?
What I'm hearing is thank you. Thank you for standing up for the ideals that we sent you there to have. Thank you for standing up for our city. Thank you for standing up for our community. And I hear that from my constituents. I hear that from constituents of the representatives who voted to censure me. And I hear it from people in the building in the Capitol as well.
Zooey Zephyr, thank you so much for your time, and please keep us posted on what's next for you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.